Some trade rumors are circling news wires right now that this guy, Justin Jefferson, could be traded. Or that there's ideas that he could be traded. Cooked up schemes and Colin Cowherd predictions. And what if the Vikings did this? What if the Vikings did that? Things that probably in some cases don't deserve the attention on news wires and in news cycles, but they get attention, and then we got to come in and shoot them down, address them, play the what if game. And so we are here to discuss what if JJ was traded? What if they don't bring in a proper quarterback? What if Kirk Cousins does return? So from a Dynasty perspective, we hit this on the redraft, or not the redraft channel, the main channel on YouTube, youtube.com/The Fantasy Football Show. It's not a redraft channel. We do Dynasty, redraft, best ball, everything. But this is a specific Dynasty channel. So we're hitting it from a Dynasty perspective. And we just need to talk about it from Dynasty. Dynasty only. If you call into the show in a few minutes when I open up the phone lines, it's Dynasty only. And we need to kick around the what if scenario. Or if he's staying, which I fully assume he will be, and a lot of people won't listen to anything I'm saying. They'll go, Smitty, he's not getting traded. No crap. Like, we pretty much know that, but these rumors are out there. Therefore, we're here to shoot them down, or at least discuss the off chance that something does happen. No one saw Tyreek Hill getting traded. No one saw Devontae Adams getting traded. These things do happen from time to time. And with a guy like Jefferson, if the team has something up their sleeve, as an example, let me tell you, let's say New England's going to trade a second-round pick for Justin Fields. Now they can draft MHJ, Marvin Harrison Jr. with 3, and restart the clock, essentially. Or maybe they want to, the rumor is that Minnesota could be involved. Maybe they want to take a Penix Jr. and a Marvin Harrison Jr. and reset the clock and not have to pay JJ. But at the end of the day, I don't think JJ's going anywhere. The fan base doesn't want him going anywhere. So we will address and attack the angle of, if he stays, what's his dynasty value then? What's his dynasty value then? File in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Dynasty Fantasy Football Show.
So we're here to talk JJ. Let's do it live. Everybody file on in. Hit that like button on your way in the door. Subscribe if you are not subscribed on the Dynasty channel. Your boy has been trying to grow this channel, and we've been doing a damn good job. This thing is getting up there. I mean, we're doing a really, really solid job getting people over here. And I can't thank you enough for hitting the like button and filing in and being a part of the growth of this channel. We're going to try and keep these streams really short just because I think you guys get enough of long form on the main channel. This is going to be a 10 to 12 minute by design type of channel for the most part. We'll do a lot of live breaking news streams and mock drafts and such, but for the most part, I want people to be comfortable with a 10 to 12 minute video that's Dynasty related and focused on one player at a time. I think that's going to be a nice little theme for the Dynasty channel. Real quickly, let's go over the news just so people can understand. 21 people in here in a graveyard shift. This report here, Justin Jefferson to the New England Patriots. Colin Cowherd is proposing. So it's one man. Okay, this is like people at ESPN all the time will come up and concoct some sort of trade, some idea. Colin Cowherd is proposing that the Vikings surrender the 11 overall. Let me show you the draft order. So the 11 overall to move up to the 3. Okay, so 11 to 3. And in order to climb from 11 to 3 to get, let's say, JD5, Jaden Daniels, the quarterback that I believe is really the best quarterback in this draft class, they have to surrender JJ and a 25 first rounder. What in the hell is he smoking? How in the hell are you going to give up not only a future first rounder for 11, which makes sense. I could get behind that, honestly. That's kind of common practice, but to then throw JJ in, how are you going to give up 11 and JJ? You know what I mean? Like number 3 overall for JJ makes some sense on paper when you actually think out MHJ at 3, fresh contract, Don't have to pay him anytime soon. You know, big money. JJ's going to cost bank. And if the Vikings aren't ready to win and they're going to move on from Kirk Cousins, let's say, it makes some sense on paper to say they reset the clock if Marvin Harrison is the number one wide receiver for the future. If that's what the Vikings believe. But to throw in 11 and 25 first, JJ, doesn't make any sense at all. It's really actually a stupid proposal. Am I going to be covering rookie drafts? Absolutely. We'll be doing all kinds of rookie stuff, bro. Don't worry. Rookie videos are coming by this end of this weekend. What do I think is a feasible trade, though? Like, let's say JJ was going to get traded. I had to create a trade that made sense. We talked about this in the main channel. I won't spend too much time on this because go watch today's show. But something along the lines of 11 and a 25 first alone. 11 and a 2025 first rounder for the 3 overall. The Vikings get to take JD5. The New England Patriots get a 25 first rounder, and they also get to take Penix Jr., Bo Nix. Maybe McCarthy falls. Probably not because he's climbing in value, but you never know. He could fall in value again. I don't know that I love that for New England. And even Travis, who's a New England Patriot fan, he didn't love it at all. But that's something I could see getting done. This whole notion of giving up JJ and the 11 on top of a 25 first rounder is stupidity. So, but let's just say in the world where I propose a trade that would be 11 for the 3, and for that swap, you give up a future first rounder in 2025. What does that do for JJ? Well, if JJ's in New England and they've got McCarthy throwing to him, let's say, or Penix, I mean, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know if JJ in Minnesota is any different than starting over with a new quarterback in New England without Bill Belichick. I don't know. I think JJ's so good he'll survive wherever he goes. My gut instinct tells me he won't get traded. I think Minnesota the fan base would go absolutely crazy in a negative way if JJ was traded. This is the heart and soul of the team. I don't care how much they love, Marvin Harrison Jr. as a prospect. Most fans don't care about that type of stuff this early on. Like, they want their guy. It would be very, very dumb move for the Minnesota Vikings to explore that. If I'm the Minnesota Vikings, I'm trading a second rounder, if not 2 second rounders, to go get freaking Justin Fields. If I'm the Minnesota Vikings, I go get Justin Fields for a second or 2 second rounders, whatever it takes. I'd overpay if there's competition for it to get it done. Because if Fields is throwing to JJ for the next 5-6 years, I'm ear to ear grin. Because then I feel comfortable about JJ's future. If Kirk Cousins is brought back, not feeling that long term, not sure where he's going to be with the Achilles. And so from a dynasty perspective, definitely takes a hit, JJ. But how much? He's JJ. Look what he did with the QB carousel he had all year long. He still produced. But I think at that point, like, if he doesn't have Fields or some solidified JD5 moving up, or at least Penix Jr., then I don't know. But there's risk to that. Like, Penix Jr. over Cousins, like Cousins for 1 year is better, so 2024. And what if Penix Jr. busts and we don't have a good quarterback throwing to JJ at all? Then looking back in retrospect, we would much rather have Cousins for 2-3 years than have this more long-term solution. It's kind of a sticky situation. But I do believe that if New England does, let's say, trade for, let's say New England, actually, let's go back to Minnesota. If Minnesota does trade for Fields, then JJ to the moon. Because it just, in Dynasty, it just feels secure. It just feels really secure. Now, I think New England should also trade a second rounder for Fields and then draft Marvin Harrison Jr. That's what I would do. I think any team that could get Marvin Harrison Jr. that also needs a quarterback that doesn't trade for Fields is making a grave mistake. Fields costs a second rounder. Any team that can get Marvin Harrison Jr. that needs a quarterback, so Washington, New England, draft Marvin Harrison Jr., trade a second rounder for Justin Fields, and march yourself into an Elite 8 in the National Football League, maybe within 1 year, maybe the first year, but at least within 1 calendar year or 2 years from the date of, this season beginning, this will be a team that's competing with everybody. So from a dynasty perspective, I don't think we can assume that JJ, I don't think look, players get traded inside division all the time, peanut butter and jelly. It's not as common, but if you don't have any suitors, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if your best offer or only offer is from a team within your division? So it happens. Patriots, why not? Why not go get Justin Fields? Why not overpay? Why not? Denver, go get Fields. Las Vegas, go get Fields. Keep Adams happy. Seattle, go get Fields. Let Fields throw the football to JSN and those guys. Okay, so real quickly, let's go back to JJ. This is a garbage trade proposal. Colin Cowherd doesn't know what he's talking about. JJ, the only thing that concerns me, like I said, is what if Penix Jr. fails? Or what if the quarterback they bring in, like McCarthy, fails? So I guess my topic tonight will be, let's open the phone lines real quick. Does anybody feel like they are willing to downgrade JJ a little bit until they find out who's throwing the football to him? Or are you just saying, I don't care, it'll work itself out, JJ's number 1 overall in Dynasty? Or is this why on Underdog, even in redraft, but Dynasty sometimes too, we're seeing Lamb go ahead of JJ, which is, it's not crazy to me, but it was a little unexpected. We've seen Lamb rank above him. I've seen some people, very rare, but say that Chase is their number 1. I've seen some people in Dynasty say MHJ is their number 1. None of these are wrong answers. I think that your safe play, no matter what you think is going to happen, is JJ, but it's certainly debatable, and I don't blame anybody for wavering a little bit on this topic pending this Justin Jefferson quarterback situation being ironed out. Now, some might say, oh, well, we'll know in time for draft day. Not necessarily in Dynasty. Some of you guys draft freaking early, and a lot of Dynasty startups try and follow suit with the NFL. And a lot of people try and get their draft done before the NFL draft so that you can partake in a rookie draft on top of your actual vet draft in your inaugural draft. So, tough to say. Yeah, so I guess dial into the phone line if anybody wants to have a conversation about where they value JJ. And are you influenced at all in your wait for the solution at QB for the Minnesota Vikings? Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Travis, what are your thoughts on this one? Is he number 1 for you?
Doesn't move.
Doesn't move. Okay.
Because we really weren't getting a ton of touchdowns with him anyways. I mean, we started to see more with Kirk this year a little, but in 10 games he put up 1,000 yards with Kirk Cousins and Nick Mullins and Dobbs and, who was playing well, but I think it sorts itself out. And I have to assume if JJ goes somewhere else, there's going to be a competent quarterback.
Yeah, I guess the way I look at it is and I don't mind New England. Like, I actually think New England, because Bill Belichick's out of there, I don't mind, like, JJ with, I mean, let's say JJ went to New England. You're probably, well, I mean, I guess that gets complicated because if you are surrendering your 3 pick somehow, or you're moving it down, I just don't like this trade idea is bunk. There's no way this works out.
Well,
but let's say it was a JJ and
Russell Wilson.
I mean, if you brought in Russell Wilson somehow, I like it. If you were able to keep the pick and spend it on Penix Jr. and JJ is fantastic. But if you're rolling with a garbage like Ritter type quarterback or Mac Jones again or something, I'm not I mean, would Mac Jones be better with JJ? Sure, but like he's not going to give JJ what he needs. You need a high octane potential passing quarterback. I think I'd be concerned if Bill was still there because I wouldn't know if you'd solve the QB situation. But I do believe you guys will solve the QB situation. But to be honest with you, I think it's a mute point because I think at the end of the day, there's no way New England can afford to not take one of these three quarterbacks. At the end of the day, I don't even think you're in the conversation of JJ. I think this is a stupid argument by Colin Cowherd, and I think that there's almost zero chance you aren't drafting a QB in the top 3 picks. I don't see it.
I had to bet. I'd say they're taking a QB. Yeah.
But I don't see you moving down. Like you guys have been starving for it. You're not going to just take scraps again. That's how you got Mac Jones. You took the leftover quarterback, and that's the way, ended up screwing the New England Patriot organization. Now you have a chance to maybe take the best quarterback in the entire draft in JD5. And if JD5 goes 2, which I fully want him to, I think Adam Peters knows what he's doing, GM of the Washington Commanders, formerly of the San Francisco 49ers. I think he knows talent when he sees it, and he's going to take JD5. But if you get May, I'm not totally sold on him yet, but that's to be determined. If you get May and he works out, that's great. That's. I just wonder if he's another Mac Jones. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Right.
The only other thing, real quick, and then I'll mute. They do have 34th pick, so they could put that with like next year's first and get back into the first round.
Maybe.
If someone falls that they like.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you could take JD5 here and then move back in to take a Dunze? That would be fantastic. Or Bowers.
Yeah, something like that.
Hang tight real quick. Aaron, you're live. Go ahead, Aaron. And then I've got to go over to DeBalt. So ask me like 1 or 2 questions this time, and then I'll put you on hold, and you can think of another one. Go ahead.
Yeah, going to what you said with Jefferson, you got Jefferson, Chase, Lamb, and eventually Marvin Hanson Jr. coming into the league. So who I put first is I would put JJ first, then Lamb, then Marvin, then Chase. That would be my rankings. JJ's still number 1 for me. So with draft coming up, like you said about Drake May, a lot of people think like you said, you're not sold on him. What makes you not sold on him, Smitty? Is it his way that he fumbled this year compared to last year? What do you don't like about Drake May? You think he could bust?
No, I mean that's what I was saying. I think it was Frankie or whatever in the chat was saying you're backtracking on May. I'm not saying negative things. I just don't have him. I don't have him. He's not going to bust necessarily. I just don't have my vibe yet on him. My vibe check. You could do great things in college. It doesn't mean you're translating. Every one of the top 5 quarterbacks looks like a all-star when you watch their highlight film and but what matters to me is sometimes you can see that X factor with a quarterback and sometimes you can't. Sometimes you see it in the preseason. Sometimes with Stroud, it develops during his rookie year. Now he was a great prospect. Obviously, he was contemplated to go number 1 overall. It wasn't like he came out of nowhere, but between him and Bryce Young was thought to be the better prospect, and it didn't work out that well. Now, granted, Bryce Young went to a horrible situation that I don't think is going to change anytime soon. I think you said you're a Carolina fan, so I apologize for that.
I am.
But I don't think it's changing anytime soon, so I'm afraid he gets ruined before he even gets started, kind of like Trey Lance did. But I think that at the end of the day, Stroud's better than anybody anticipated, even the people that loved him. He looks like he could walk in and you're not absolutely crazy saying he's my number 1 dynasty QB. You're not crazy to think that way. So I don't know that we always have the answers, and it doesn't mean that you're missing something. Like Drake May looks good on film. His numbers, some say that hurt his 2023 numbers hurt him a little bit. Everybody says I still like what he can do. I still think he could put up what he put up previously. And I don't know. He just seems a little more... he just needs to prove it, bro. I just don't have the vibe on him yet. It doesn't mean that he wasn't good in college. It just means, will he translate? Mac Jones was good in college, bro. Johnny Manziel was one of the best quarterbacks in college football history. You know, like it doesn't always translate. It doesn't mean you can even see some of it, but you just gotta test it out sometimes. And I don't have a vibe check on him yet. I just don't know. Depends on where he goes. It depends on who he's got to throw to. Depends on who's coaching him up. If Drake May went to play with Dable in New York, I'd be pretty on board. You know? So much depends on where he goes, but I think JD5 can make a lot happen with his legs, kind of like AR5, so he doesn't necessarily need landing spot.
JD5.
He doesn't need landing spot quite as much. Caleb, I'm not as sold on. I like him, but I don't love him. So I think situation could kind of derail him a little bit, but Indy wasn't the best spot in the world. Steichen was great. We knew what he did with Jalen Hurts, so I was excited about his landing spot to a degree, but Indy didn't feel like the best landing spot. JT was banged up, and AR5, he obviously didn't play long, but this offense still feels very potent with AR5. JD will do that. I don't know if Drake May can just step in anywhere and survive and thrive. Like if he goes to New England with just Pop Douglas as his receiver, I like Pop Douglas, but he's a wide receiver 2. He's not a wide receiver 1. Drake May doesn't have weapons. He needs weapons. If he goes to Atlanta, Atlanta moves up, let's say, then he's got weapons. I like Drake May a lot. That's not flip-flopping. That's not backtracking. That's just adjusting and adapting to the environment. Situation's king. So Drake May. All right, hold on one second, Aaron. DeBalt, you're live.
What's going on, Smitty?
What's up?
So, I mean, the JJ deal, he ain't going nowhere. He's a team. This is ridiculous. Collins a fool, just like Stephen A. Smith. They don't know football. But besides the fact is, talking about Drake May, talking about Caleb, I don't know if you've seen, it's kind of getting traction about the Manders. They're trying to get Caleb. If they can't, they're going to take Marvin Harrison to 2 and trade for Fields.
I mean, that's what I want.
So,
that's what I've been preaching for, weeks. Like if this team is smart and they trade for Fields, or like I said, New England, Washington, really anybody that needs a quarterback is smart. Like I said at the beginning of the show, if you have a chance to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and you need a quarterback, the only play is you get Fields for a second and you trade for Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm sorry, you draft Marvin Harrison Jr., you trade for Fields. It's the only answer. It is the easiest way to revamping everything. So I don't know. Adam Peters is smart enough to do it. We'll see if it happens. I'll be heartbroken to some degree because I want Marvin Harrison Jr. to be a Cardinal. But it wouldn't shock me if Adam Peters also saw JD5. Also, keep in mind, you're hearing these things. None of it's true. It's all smoke. We're predicting what they'll do, and I think these are good educated guesses, but there's actually no line on this. There's no one's leaking what's going to happen. No one's hearing the correct thing. Everybody's speculating, passing it on. And then you're going to hear the next couple weeks, next couple months, you're going to hear, according to a unnamed source of mine, and everyone's going to say that about everything. And they're throwing mud at the wall, and the moment it comes true, they've got some little thing that they can preach about, that they had a source. I told you, oh man, this guy's connected. No, but it's all smoke, bro. There's no way Adam Peters and this staff is letting people know they're trading for Justin Fields and drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. There's no way. But I think we're on top of what a very nice solution would be, and Adam Peters is smart enough to make it happen.
Yeah, definitely. That would be a busted, loaded offense with Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel, John Dotson, Marvin Harrison, Justin Fields. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
But that's just what I heard, and I heard this thing about JJ too, and it's come on now. What are we doing here?
Well, unfortunately we're wasting a lot of time on Colin Cowherd and how he just perpetuated this narrative, and then people kept going with it. And I people message me right when it happened. I get these DMs all the time. I know a lot of people think I don't see this stuff right when it happens. I do. I've DMs of people too that are close to each of these situations. Like, for example, my Niner buddies. Like, I got a Niner chat with my boys, and I hear Niner stuff sometimes so early, and some of it I can't even reveal. And a lot of it comes true, and it's unfortunately some stuff I can't reveal. I have a lot of inside lines, you know. And some teams I don't have anybody. Like I just have a couple buddies that are like a fan page and they don't know anything more than I do. They wait for Adam Schefter's, you know, news as well. But you're going to hear so many people say they've got a source and they can't tell you. You know what? Like I always said, and I said last year, if you have a source that is unwilling to put their name to it, they don't even know for sure it's happening. Because if somebody knows something, it's going to be very rare. It's going to be very rare that somebody wants to leak something on purpose to try and generate something. And that's going to a big name player like Schefter or Rappaport. And they're going to say, according to a source, blah, blah, blah. That's why we take Schefter and Rappaport a little more seriously. We do a kind of caution. We approach it with caution. And we'll say, okay, this is not a named source. But nobody's dropping according to a source, let me tell you this information and get you to get the buzz out, to a beat writer. It's going to Schefter. It's going to Rappaport. So anybody that says according to a source and it's not, and you don't trust that person, like they aren't proven to you to be able to land this stuff. That person that's their source is trying to also make a name for themselves. And they're also taking a little bit of a stab at something. And everybody's just trying to get famous off something, bro. Be very careful.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, you're going to hear a lot of stuff right now. And I came across it. I'm like, okay. And then I saw it again. I'm like, okay. And one more time, I'm like, I'm going to have to ask.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, hopefully. Fields is on the move. Fields is on the move. You know, is it going to be the Falcons? Is it going to be the Commanders? Is it going to be the Broncos? Is it going to be the Vikings? Is it going to be the Seahawks? Raiders? Patriots? Saints? I mean, I hope it's Commanders. I'm going to put it right here. I hope it's Commanders. I think the Falcons I think all these teams are idiotic to not be making a huge play for Justin Fields. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make a single bit of sense why you wouldn't aggressively say, I'll outbid everybody. I've got to throw down 2 second-rounders to make it happen when he's only worth 1. I'll do it, and I'll do it live. The fact that people aren't doing that is crazy to me. Or won't be doing that is crazy to me. And I can almost guarantee you they won't. Because for whatever reason, the NFL is full of, I don't know.
Well, just knowing the what you have on the board, I'll tell you, well, exception to the Vikings, because, you know, it's Kirk Cousins' town. They all want Fields. Everybody, well, except for the Bears. Well, I mean, Bears fans want Fields.
Kirk Cousins' town.
We don't know what's going on there.
What do you mean Kirk Cousins' town?
Well, for the Vikings, like they want the fans. You know, they like Kirk Cousins.
I don't know about that,
Vikings,
bro. I don't know about that. I mean, we had Perps on here earlier, and he was telling us, and I believe Perps because he's got the local vibe better than we do, and he said that.
Yes.
For sure the fans like him, but the fans know they can't go into the future with him. He's good for the now.
Yeah.
But I don't know that the Minnesota fan base is actually wanting to stay with Kirk.
Yeah,
fan bases are
definitely wanted by all those teams on the board. I mean, every single fan base and they would love to have him. So we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah. All right, bro. Later.
Thanks.
Later, Bill. Appreciate you. All right, Aaron. Final thoughts, Aaron. I got to jump.
I just want to piggyback on what you said earlier. I wasn't trying to come at you with May at all. I didn't mean trying to back.
Oh, I don't care. I don't care.
A question. Going back earlier with Bryce Young. That I do like Dan Canales. I think that was a good hire. I think he's going to build around Bryce's strength because the issue was the owner meddled too much. What I'm hearing is, I don't know how true this is, because I like to take some of the grain of salt, that they was trying to build Bryce into Frank's offense and not the other way around like you're supposed to. You're supposed to build an offense around a quarterback's strengths, not the other way around. I think this year, obviously, he's going to take a little bit of a step, but it's like you said earlier, it's not. This ain't going to be a winning year. We're not going to be winning for the next 3 to 5 years at best. So I would say this would be a good year for him. I'm going to call out at least 3,000 to 38,000 yards passing, and around like 19 to 22 touchdowns and between 8 to 12 interceptions. I can see that, which would be a uptick to what he did this year. Maybe like a 1 or 2 rushing touchdowns in a year.
Walk me through what you're doing in the draft.
So at pick 33, I like Lab McConkey a lot. I've been doing a lot of research on him. I've been doing a lot of scouting on him. Bryce is going to need somebody that can go over the middle, that can separate, that can give him that outlet. So if he's in trouble, as I said, if he can't fix this all line, which
problem is
Yeah.
McConkey's climbing up draft boards. I don't know that he might even fall to 32 or 33, bro. Like I don't know.
If he doesn't, we do have Burns there. Smitty. I don't think we're resigning him. I don't think we're going to pay him what he's going to want, what he's worth. So we're probably going to have to package him and go up into like the mid first if we want Lad McConkey. Like you said, McConkey's climbing up draft boards. If we want him, we might have to trade up with Detroit, the Ravens. So I mean, it's not the draft order because those end teams will switch off because of the Super Bowl and stuff. But for us to get into like the late first, we're going to probably have to package Burns or trade Burns away, maybe add a fourth on that to go up a couple spots if we want him. I like his route running. I think his skills will help Bryce out a lot.
I like him, but like for me, bro, I think you swing big, you get a neighbor, you trade up and you get neighbors or a Dunze if you want to make an impact. I don't know that McConkey I like, but everybody's wanting him to be the next Puka Nacua. And I just think everybody's trying to will it to happen. And it's not going to work. He's not. There's rarely ever going to
move up. Okay. What would you give up to go up to get neighbors? Would you give up our first round pick next year and the first round pick in 2026? Like, what do you do to go up?
Yeah, I mean, there are people that think that Neighbors is better than Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm not saying I agree with that, but I mean, there are a lot of people that think that you could go get Brock Bowers. You get somebody like Bowers, a Dunze, or Neighbors. You're not going to get Marvin, but you get one of those three guys. That's something special to give Bryce Young.
Okay.
I don't know that I even want it though. To be honest with you, I don't mean to insult your team, but like I want those guys on a better offense. I'm just saying, if it were me, that's what I would do. I mean, McConkey, what's McConkey gonna be? Like? I like him. He's a good prospect for sure. But this is like Alec Pierce. You know, we're still waiting on Alec Pierce to be. That was Alec Pierce is gonna be a guy that was similar to that. You know, I just don't. Everyone wants him to be Puka Nacua, McConkey. Everyone wants, Wilson to be Puka Nacua. Everybody wants this new Puka Nacua. And it's not going to be easy to land another player like that. That's very rare. Stroud's very rare. Puka Nacua is very rare. These guys are very rare. It's a great wide receiver class, says Crackshot. It certainly is. But I really think Bryce Young needs an elite wide receiver. McConkey's not going to be an elite wide receiver. He'll be a good receiver, though. Very good receiver. Like, could he be? Is there a world where he's Michael Pittman good? Which I don't think Michael Pittman's as good as everybody's rankings. Dynasty startups, he's going like freaking 22 overall, which is crazy. But like my version of what I think of Michael Pittman Jr., I think McConkey maybe has a shot in hell to get that good. But like he's never going to be a top 5 wide receiver. I clip this. It'll be funny if it doesn't work out. I'll be glad to take a lap if McConkey becomes that good. He's good. He's good. He's climbing up boards though. You're not going to get him at 33. I like him. I like him a lot. He's really good. I just don't see him being Puka.
I think he could be between wide receiver 15, 16. That's just my opinion. I think he could be that good. If he climbs up any higher, then like you said, you and I were just taking a lap because we just like, oh shit, like we thought that he would be only 15, 16, maybe even in the 18. But yeah,
a fantasy wide receiver 15 to 20, sure, like that's possible. I'm not shooting that down. Like you can clip that. That's fine. Do I think he's a top 10 wide receiver like Puka? That is so freaking rare, man. Or top 12. Top 12 will make him the low-end wide. If he was 12, 11, 10, he'd be a low-end wide receiver 1. Not going to happen. I like McConkey. I do. He looks really good. But keep in mind, he has not yet had his combine and all that. Like maybe he looks bad again, or looks bad. Like, we got to see it all play out. He'll definitely be a riser, though, and you definitely not get him at 33 if he continues to rise.
No, we're not going.
All right, Aaron, I got to jump.
The 4-4-3. Yeah, I thank you, Smitty. I appreciate it. We'll have this conversation more as the off-season goes on.
All right, call him tomorrow. Later.
All right, thank you.
Travis, final thoughts.
I think I'm good. Just to reiterate, I think JJ, no matter what, I think he's number one because I think wherever he lands, there's going to be a quarterback because otherwise he's not going to resign with the team if there's no future for him there. So one way or another, he's either with the Vikings or on a team with a good quarterback. So still number one for me.
Yeah. Tough to say, man, what's going to happen, but yeah, I think it ultimately, and let me redo this because I wrote Lamb there because I've seen Lamb go one, but of course JJ to me, of course, is my number one. But I mean, I understand people's fear of the unknown. So
yeah, and that's why earlier when Perps and I were kind of going back and forth with the mock deals, I actually took JJ out and put Addison in because that's a more realistic thing to me. Like if they wanted to move someone to move up, they could replace Addison way easier than replacing JJ. And I like Addison a lot, But,
yeah.
So,
I
don't see him moving unless they refuse to pay him.
I love Jamar Chase. I do. I love him. He's so good. But part of me feels like Marvin Harrison Jr. maybe is my third. I don't know. It's so tough. He might be my three. I love Chase. I again reserve the right to change my mind on that too. I'm still working it out.
Yeah.
It's the nature of I think an honest fantasy football analyst.
If Burrow comes back healthy, JJ could jump right back up there too.
Chase. Franchise would be crazy to pass. Yeah, I just think, and for the debate of Harrison versus JJ for a organization, like you just got to understand this is going to cost, mega bucks, whereas this is a reset. So like, it's not crazy for a franchise to be like, okay, kind of feel like I would rather have Marvin Harrison than JJ. As much as people don't understand that and they can't wrap their brain around that because of how much they love JJ's talent, it's just, you're resetting the clock. It depends on where the franchise is in the rebuilding process, but
right. Because player for player, you hope Marvin Harrison ends up as good as JJ.
Yeah, because if he is the number one overall, he climbs all the way to one, then this won't be funny anymore. Like it'd be like, oh yeah, well,
right.
Damn, yeah, he's as good as JJ. Like, let's keep in mind, I'm not saying that JJ is the next Mike Thomas, but Mike Thomas was the number one wide receiver in fantasy football. And it wasn't like even close. He was everybody loved him. They're like, this guy's gonna be and I'm not saying that's happening to JJ. I'm just merely saying that, injuries, anything can happen and derail something you feel is 100% certain. Like, I don't know if anybody in here can honestly say they thought Mike Thomas would fall off like he did, just out of nowhere. It happened and it continued on. Like, it's crazy when you think about it. So like, I don't think anybody's nuts to be like, I don't know what his QB situation is going to be. I'd rather have, in Dynasty, you could say I'd rather have like the 1.1 rookie pick and Achane over JJ. I mean, I'm not saying you necessarily would want to do that. It depends on your team build. But if you could get a player like Achane, or you could get a player like Kyron Williams, and you get the 1.1 rookie pick, and let's say you kick back a 2.1 rookie pick or something like that. I mean, I'd rather have Kyron and the 1.1 than JJ and the 2.1 rookie pick, or even if you were to work that a little closer to like a 1.8. So would I rather have JJ in the 1.8 or would I rather have Kyron in the 1.1 rookie pick? I'd rather have Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyron.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't argue that.
Now, would I say that if Justin Fields was already locked into place, I would struggle more. So I think that's kind of why I'm here tonight, is to say we do have a little bit of a hesitation. Like I'm locking JJ into a much more secure spot if I know what's going on, and I don't know what's going on. So I'd rather have Kyron Williams or Achane with the 1.1 rookie pick. But that's me.
You're saying if Fields is locked in like with JJ?
Yeah, Fields is there locked in with JJ. it becomes a harder question to answer. Right now, I smash the button and take Achan or Kyren with Marvin Harrison Jr., the 1.1, and give somebody JJ and let's say the 1.10, 1.9, 1.8. I would smash the hell out of Kyren in the Marvin Harrison Jr. 1.1. But if JJ had Fields and it's locked in, then all of a sudden you have more of a concern. Like, wow, man, what if JJ becomes something like invincible? You know what I mean? Because look how good DJ Moore did. Let's not pretend like Fields can't make an elite wide receiver. He absolutely can.
No,
there were times.
Awesome. Yeah.
There were times where DJ Moore was top 5 to a lot of people. Like after week 4 and 5 explosion, you know, the two game stint, everyone's like DJ Moore top 5. This is absolute DJ Moore love fest everywhere. So JJ could explode with Justin Fields.
Yeah, but yeah, it'll be interesting because that changes everything for sure.
Yeah. And to Bob's point, if Fields is in Minnesota, let's say, the Vikings make an amazing bold move, then JJ does in Dynasty climb to the 1.1. Like without any Lamb intervening. Like Lamb's intervening on that right now. Lamb's getting the 1.1 draft slot once in a while. So it'll be JJ across the board.
Yeah, because right now, I guess technically the Vikings don't even have a quarterback. I mean, people assume Kirk's going back, but Cousins could just decide to leave too. I mean, he could get like Atlanta could throw him a ridiculous contract. So.
Alrighty, appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later. Thanks.
All right, later. All right, guys. Justin Jefferson, don't panic. Don't panic. The reason I'm here is to tell you, don't panic. Somebody's not going to watch this, and they're going to be like, this is stupid. JJ's not going anywhere. No crap, Bob. I mean, pretty much know that. It's more about these stupid rumors. I got to waste my time going live talking about it, but I love that it brings up JJ, and that we could come here and talk JJ from Dynasty, and how we might be laughing at even hesitating on him being the wide receiver 1 overall over Lamb, MHJ, and Chase in Dynasty once he has Justin Fields or some kind of secure quarterback situation. However, if they play with fire and don't retain Kirk Cousins and whiff on replacing him, then JJ falls into the gutter to a degree. Like, not really, but like that's bad. Dynasty-wise, that's bad. I don't want him having a journeyman quarterback. Like, I shouldn't say gutter, but it certainly feels like a big kick to the nutsack. You know, if they let Cousins go and they whiff on replacing him, and they've got nothing, they don't even get Russell Wilson. They're bringing in like a Jimmy G. you know what I'm saying? Like, we never know. You never know what could happen. That's the scary part. Like, that's why I don't think it's crazy to come in here and have a little bit of a conversation and just say, what if Minnesota Vikings screw this up? What if they absolutely mismanage this situation? You know, like some of the teams kind of were doing with coaching. You know, like a lot of people think that the Washington Commanders were expecting this and expecting that. I love what they ended up doing, but some people say that, you know, some teams got a little bit worried and made some moves, and you see the Washington Commanders go ahead and pull in Dan Quinn when Dan Quinn wasn't the front runner. It was Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson goes back to Detroit, and everyone's like, oh my God, we waited and watched all these offensive coordinators and solid moves go everywhere, and now we're left with 4 people, and we don't have a choice now. We're going with Dan Quinn. It works out great. I love Dan Quinn paired with Adam Peters as GM, paired with Kingsbury as OC. I love it. I'm just saying people are saying that, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a world where Minnesota does mess this up. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a risk. It's kind of why they've kept Kirk Cousins, is they don't want to play with fire. But also keep in mind, JJ is been very vocal about wanting Kirk Cousins to return. All right, appreciate you all. I don't know if we'll do Rumble tonight. I'll do Rumble tomorrow. I'll do one in the daytime. I'll see you all tomorrow on Rumble. I'll see you all on the main channel tomorrow, youtube.com/The Fantasy Football Show. You're watching youtube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football. Please follow me on Rumble, rumble.com/The Fantasy Football Show. Please follow me on all three of these channels. They're all original content. None of them just repeat the content on these. You gotta make sure you're hopping on all three channels. I'll see you all later. Appreciate you. Thank you very much for being here. We got a super chat. Did I just ignore the super chat? Aaron, I'm sorry. Smitty, do you think JJ would get a Deshaun Watson type contract? Aaron, are you still here? I'm so sorry about the delay on this one. I don't know how long ago this has been sitting there. Aaron, my boy. Let me just see if Aaron's here. Aaron, I'm sorry, bro. Smitty, do you think JJ would get a Deshaun Watson type contract like $150 to $180 million guaranteed in money? We all know JJ will get a record-breaking contract. I don't know what it will be like guaranteed-wise. Ziggy, who's the highest-paid wide receiver in the NFL?
The highest-paid NFL active wide receiver by base salary is Amari Cooper at $23,776,000 US.
Is that right? Is Ziggy just making me look like a fool here? Highest NFL wide receivers paid. Highest paid NFL wide receivers. Tyreek Hill. God, Ziggy's an idiot. Per year, though, like, is that the average is Amari Cooper's average is, why do you say Amari Cooper? 20 million? What is Ziggy talking about? God, Ziggy's an idiot. Thanks, Zig. Thanks, Zigmeister. Appreciate you. Total guaranteed free agency. I believe this is accurate. Let me put this up on screen here. It's Tyreek Hill. Ziggy. Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper. Is Aaron here? Aaron, you here? Aaron's here. Aaron, thank you. Good thing we don't trust Ziggy half the time. Amari Cooper. Tyreek Hill, 120. Average 30 mil a year. Ziggy's the worst. Don't put him in charge of anything. Devontae Adams, 28 mil a year. Cooper Kupp, 26 mil a year. But look at their total guaranteed, bro. 72, 65, 75, 56, 70, 50. I don't think you're going from 72 up to 150 or 180, Aaron. It's just not happening. These things are kind of done in increments. So I'd probably say if the total guaranteed for Hill is 72, you're looking at like an 80 to 90, maybe 100 mil if like some crazy situation unfolds. Yeah. You stop being lazy, Jake. Appreciate the super chat, but I don't think I don't think it's gonna be. It is gonna be incremental. I mean, his deal might be 150 million or something like that, but guaranteed money's got to probably be. And that, look, total guaranteed 70. That's including bonus and everything. Fully guaranteed 52 million. Total guaranteed 72 mil. Yeah, it's gonna be 130, 150, 80 to 90 mil guaranteed max. Probably, Aaron. Aaron, thank you for the super chat. Jake, thank you for the insult. And I'm not being lazy, pal. I looked it up. I have an assistant. I try and use him. Jake, take a lap, Jake. All right, I'm out of here. Appreciate you all. Thank you for the supers. Even Jake from State Farm. I'll see you all tomorrow. Rumble channel, don't forget. See you there. Live at 8. Don't be late like I am. Eastern. Monday through Friday. JJ will break the wide out market, absolutely, but not by 100 mil. Deuces. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Live whenever news breaks, like we did earlier on the Ocho Cinco Devontae Adams video on the main channel. Go watch it. Go watch it. See you all later. Appreciate you.